It may be difficult to know how to interact with ladies in the modern world, but what if you had access to a reliable, antiquated tool that could provide you confidence throughout? Yes, we are talking about Stoicism, which is an ideology that revolves around being a strong moral man. The code of Stoicism will be used in this video to expose 11 things that smart men should never do with women. Gentlemen, get ready to discover how to be the most gentlemanly person you can be by adopting a Stoic attitude. Do not forget to click the notification bell. Now let's move on to the first tip. Click the subscribe button to make sure you never miss one. The use of sexuality as a weapon for control or manipulation is intrinsically unethical when considering the framework of Stoicism, which emphasizes virtue, self-mastery, and consideration for others. Men of wisdom who adhere to the Stoic tradition reject such notions and seek instead a close bond built on mutual respect and consent rather than coercion or dishonesty. Stoicism places a strong importance on the cultivation of virtues like self-control and moderation. All facets of life, but notably intimate relationships, call for these traits. It is morally reprehensible to use one's sexuality as a negotiating chip or weapon. As sage men have long understood, it is also unethical to get into sexual relationships under duress or through deception. According to wise men who adhere to Stoic principles, Stoicism emphasizes that people should accept and recognize the autonomy and decisions of others and treat them with kindness and dignity. Real intimacy can only develop between couples who are prepared to let go and respect one another's personal space and desires. The use of sexual relations for manipulative or controlling purposes stems from egocentric and base impulses, which go against the Stoic principle of living a life guided by reason and virtue. Intelligent men work hard to develop self-awareness and self-discipline to act according to moral ideals rather than egocentric ambitions. Stoicism holds that virtue and reason should guide one's conduct. Moreover, Stoicism encourages people to pursue virtue, which is the highest good, and to consider how their acts may influence others. Using sexuality as a weapon or a negotiating chip weakens intelligent men who prioritize ethical behavior, recognize the need of fostering respectful relationships based on mutual understanding, respect, and trust, which can cause pain and suffering for all parties. Intelligent men should need Stoicism to maintain virtue, self-control, and ethical behavior, to learn how to treat sexual relationships with dignity and respect. Instead of using sex as a bargaining chip or a weapon, men should aim for voluntary and friendly interactions. Proximity. This contributes to the respecting of each person's autonomy and dignity, which results in relationships that are better and more fulfilling. The second point is related to women's emotions. The Stoic tradition places great emphasis on the importance of comprehending and managing one's emotions. Instead of mocking or ignoring women's emotions, educated men should treat them with kindness, sympathy, and effective communication. Stoicism holds that feelings are normal and essential aspects of the human experience, and that women's feelings must be respected in order for them to share men's perspective and grow in depth emotional interactions. Women experience a range of emotions, including joy, grief, anger, fear, and love. These emotions are important indicators of a person's needs, limits, and beliefs. Disregarding or downplaying women's emotions not only fails to acknowledge their distinct experiences, but it also hinders the development of genuine and significant relationships by failing to understand women's emotions. Instead of trying to rationalize or disregard women's emotions, astute men demonstrate their emotional intelligence and readiness to have meaningful conversations. They can embrace women's emotions and create a safe environment for them to be expressed. This affirmation encourages reciprocal respect, trust, and closeness in the relationship. Effective communication is another facet of the Stoic philosophy that astute men should apply when handling the emotions of women. In order to foster mutual understanding and empathy, men must be able to communicate clearly and empathetically in order to understand the underlying causes of women's feelings and respond appropriately. This may involve active listening, paraphrasing, and clarifying questions. Acknowledging and appreciating women's emotions enhances personal connections and plays a vital role in promoting gender parity and mental health. Men who embrace women's emotional journeys challenge conventional gender norms that devalue or dismiss women's emotions. This shift toward greater knowledge and empathy encourages inclusivity, kindness, and support amongst people. Even Stoic, intellectual males are aware of the importance of acknowledging and respecting women's emotions. In order to advance gender equality and emotional well-being in society. 3, men who can successfully communicate and sympathize with women's feelings can build better emotional relationships and mutual understanding. Treating women as objects. Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes virtue, reason, and the inherent worth of every person, offers a strong foundation for promoting respect for all people. Instead of objectifying women, intellectual men should recognize and value their whole humanity. This means not treating women as inanimate things or as instruments for one's own advantage, but rather as complete human beings with goals and desires of their own. When people are viewed as means rather than ends in and of themselves, objectification takes place. This dehumanizing perspective robs people of their inherent value and agency, reducing them to nothing more than commodities or sources of pleasure. Stoic idealists contend that such behavior is immoral and destructive to one's integrity and character, citing the example of wise persons who follow Stoic principles. All people, regardless of gender, are entitled to respect and compassion because they are endowed with intrinsic dignity. This includes valuing and recognizing women's agency and autonomy, accepting their decisions and refraining from actions or viewpoints that diminish their humanity. Embracing women as complete individuals entails appreciating their diversity, originality, and singular contributions to society. Women have goals and aspirations that ought to be acknowledged and encouraged. By taking this stance, intelligent men can create a culture of mutual respect and empowerment, where women can pursue their dreams and realize their full potential without worrying about being objectified or exploited. Additionally, portraying women as objects promotes unequal power dynamics and harmful gender stereotypes. It promotes a misogynistic, violent, and harassing culture that undermines the principles of justice, equality, and human dignity in accordance with Stoic ideals. Sensible men decry such conduct and work to create a more equitable and inclusive society that values and respects each individual. Since Stoicism offers educated men a philosophical foundation for understanding and defending women's inherent worth and dignity, men can contribute to the creation of a more equitable, compassionate, and peaceful society by valuing women as whole individuals rather than as objects to be objectified. The fourth, disregarding permission consent, is the cornerstone of moral communication and partnerships, serving as the basis for respect for individuality and dignity. Smart men who are motivated by Stoic ideals of morality and integrity understand how important it is to have women's consent before engaging in any verbal, emotional, or physical interactions. Consent is the free, enthusiastic, and educated decision to engage in a certain activity or behavior. It is based on the moral and legal requirements of maintaining one's bodily integrity and individual liberty. Stoicism maintains that virtue entails appreciating the uniqueness of others and showing them respect. It is against a woman's rights to disregard or refuse her consent. It perpetuates a culture of entitlement and dominance in which one person's demands and desires take precedence over another's boundaries and well-being by diminishing her agency and autonomy. Wiser men know that giving permission involves actively seeking positive, enthusiastic consent in every interaction and refraining from using force or aggression. Permission is also a continuous process that necessitates continuous communication, respect for boundaries, and reciprocal understanding. Sensible men understand that women might withdraw their consent at any time, so they must pay attention to their signals and respect their wishes. This means recognizing vocal expressions of discomfort, nonverbal cues, and outright rejections. Knowledgeable men establish a culture of mutual respect, safety, and trust by prioritizing consent in their relationships with women. They understand that consent enhances rather than diminishes the quality of their relationships by promoting emotional connection and intimacy. Moreover, They understand that cultivating healthy, equitable, and fulfilling relationships is just as important as respecting women's limits. For intellectual males, Stoicism offers a conceptual basis for prioritizing and following consent. Men who actively seek and respect women's permission in their interactions with them demonstrate their commitment to virtue, honesty, and individual liberty. This fosters the development of more fulfilling relationships as well as a society that values equality, dignity, and respect for all people. Number 5. Deceiving or gaslighting Stoicism, which emphasizes morality, honesty, and integrity, provides wise counsel for educated men while interacting with women. Stoicism encourages open and honest communication as the basis of trust, respect, and genuineness. In contrast, gaslighting and manipulation entail lying, compulsion, and the exploitation of others' vulnerabilities for personal advantage. Interaction within partnerships. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which an individual seeks to discredit another person's understanding of reality by making them doubt their own feelings, experiences, and memories. It is a tool for managing and coercing others, usually with the intention of establishing authority or keeping them in the relationship. In addition, as Stoicism views such behavior as a betrayal of trust and a breach of integrity, intelligent men who adhere to Stoic principles understand the importance of honesty and authenticity in their relationships with women. Rather than gaslighting or manipulating women, they choose to have open conversations marked by sincerity, empathy, and respect. This includes being honest about their ideas, feelings, and goals, even when doing so is difficult or inconvenient. Moreover, astute men recognize that true connection and mutual respect can only flourish in an environment of trust and openness. By promoting open communication and honesty, they establish the foundation for mutual understanding and respect for each other's autonomy. Moreover, Stoicism emphasizes that moral integrity and self-mastery, as opposed to controlling or manipulating others, are the sources of true strength. Instead of attempting to undermine their integrity and character by utilizing gaslighting or manipulation, smart men strive to foster virtues like honesty, empathy, and compassion, which are essential for healthy connections and fulfilling partnerships. For well-educated males, Stoicism offers insightful guidance on how to act with women. Men can show their commitment to virtue integrity and respect for others by abstaining from manipulation and gaslighting and choosing to be honest and open instead. This fosters the development of more fulfilling relationships as well as a culture of genuine social connection, authenticity, and trust. The 6th denigration of women's accomplishments. A strong foundation for sensible men to negotiate their interactions with women is provided by Stoicism, which emphasizes personal integrity, honesty, and the understanding of human worth. Undermining or disparaging the achievements of women breaches the tenets of Stoicism, which advocate for people to concentrate on their moral development rather than evaluating themselves against others. Instead, Stoicism encourages and promotes women's successes because it recognizes their inherent worth and potential. The Stoic philosophy requires eudaimonia, also referred to as thriving. Yet this thriving is not owing to outside factors like wealth, notoriety, or prestige, but rather to the growth of moral and intellectual values. Smart men who adhere to Stoic principles understand that true happiness comes from living by virtue and reason, as opposed to comparing oneself to others in order to gain acceptance or superiority. A worldview that is driven by jealousy, insecurity, or a desire for dominance frequently disparages the achievements of women. Stoicism encourages people to develop inner fortitude and confidence because it recognizes that true grandeur derives from moral superiority rather than the denigration of others. Intelligent men who follow Stoic beliefs avoid disparaging or dismissing women's accomplishments because they recognize that doing so weakens women's confidence and self-worth and reflects negatively on their character. Stoicism, on the other hand, urges people to adopt an abundance and giving mentality, recognizing and praising the accomplishments and abilities of others. Particularly women wise men acknowledge women's distinctive contributions to different aspects of life. Whether in education, business, the arts, or other sectors, celebrating women's achievements affirms their intrinsic value and potential, building an inclusive, appreciative, and supportive community. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages people to develop empathy and compassion at acknowledging that everyone suffers unique problems and tribulations on the way to virtue. Wise men recognize that dismissing women's accomplishments not only reinforces damaging gender stereotypes, but also contradicts the concepts of justice, equality, and human decency. Instead, they work to boost and empower women by acknowledging their abilities, successes, and goals as deserving of celebration and support. For astute males, Stoicism offers wonderful guidance on how to honor, appreciate, and encourage women's accomplishments. By refusing to minimize or disparage women's accomplishments, men can foster a culture of mutual respect, inclusion, and empowerment. This fosters better and more meaningful relationships, the realization of individual potential, and the general well-being of society. Number 7. Discrediting the experiences of women. In Stoic philosophy, acknowledging and appreciating unique experiences is crucial. Smart guys who hold Stoic beliefs recognize the inherent worth and validity of every person's experiences, regardless of gender. Disregarding or invalidating women's experiences, whether they are connected to personal struggles, harassment from the police, or discrimination, goes against the Stoic values of compassion, empathy, and respect for each person's journey. Every person's experiences shape their perspective on the world. Stoicism urges people to treat others with kindness and understanding, realizing that every person's journey is unique and deserving of respect. Sensible men who adhere to Stoic principles see that disregarding women's viewpoints perpetuates harmful cycles of marginalization and injustice, in addition to ignoring their lived experiences. Like males, women may experience a range of issues and obstacles in their lives, such as institutional barriers, discrimination, and harassment. Men with intelligence and Stoic morals. Since doing so undermines women's autonomy, dignity, and feeling of self-worth, it is important to avoid downplaying or disregarding these experiences. Instead, people should attentively listen to women's stories, acknowledge them, and offer support when needed. Stoic philosophy places a strong emphasis on attentive listening, which is also crucial for recognizing the experiences of women. Astute individuals engage in active listening. By giving women the freedom to express themselves without fear of criticism or interference, they want to understand the emotions, ideas, and points of view that underlie women's experiences. Smart men who follow Stoic ideals support women by encouraging, validating, and helping them in overcoming challenges and negotiating difficult circumstances. Stoicism also emphasizes the value of providing support and aid to those in need. Smart men. They are aware that helping women with their issues enhances their personal well-being and contributes to the creation of a society that is more equitable, compassionate, and just. For astute men, Stoicism offers a conceptual framework that allows them to recognize and value the experiences of women. Men may show their commitment to empathy, compassion, and justice by paying close attention to what women have to say, respecting their perspectives, and providing the necessary assistance rather than discounting or denying their experiences. This encourages a culture of mutual respect, understanding, and solidarity in which we accept and value each person's unique path. Number 8. Talking over or interrupting women. Well-educated males can connect well with women by adopting a Stoic approach that prioritizes temperance, self-control, and respect for others. Speaking over or interrupting women violates not only the idea of moderation, but also the principles of equality, respect, and understanding. Stoicism pushes men to actively listen, enabling women to fully voice their thoughts and opinions, fostering sincere communication and respect for one another. Speaking over or interrupting someone regardless of their gender is impolite and shows a lack of self-control. People who embrace Stoicism are advised to adopt the virtue of temperance, which involves exercising moderation and awareness. aware of acting and speaking in accordance with Stoic principles. Men with intelligence understand how important it is to respect others' freedom of speech and avoid taking over talks. Encouraging women to express themselves fully shows respect for their agency and autonomy, while also enhancing the caliber of discourse and communication. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on the need of listening intently and sympathetically in order to completely understand the experiences and opinions of others. Smart men who engage in active listening encourage empathy, cooperation, and mutual understanding. In addition, talking over or interrupting women preserves power dynamics and promotes gender inequality. It demonstrates a disrespect for the opinions and perspectives of women, which heightens feelings of marginalization and isolation. Men of intelligence who embrace justice and equality see the importance of creating inclusive spaces where people of all genders feel empowered to participate fully in discussions and decision-making processes. By refraining from talking over or interrupting women and instead engaging in meaningful debate, sensible men show their commitment to fostering equality and mutual respect. Engage in active listening so that women may share their ideas, perspectives, and knowledge. Enhancing mutual comprehension while promoting teamwork and cooperation. For intellectual men, Stoicism offers enlightening guidance on how to interact with women. Men can show their commitment to equality, tolerance, and respect for women by actively listening to them instead of talking over or interrupting them. This fosters an environment of empathy, cooperation, and mutual understanding where all viewpoints are valued and acknowledged. Number 9. Asserting dominance in their dealings with females. Guys with intelligence can learn a lot from Stoicism, a way of thinking that emphasizes rationality, humility, and acknowledging human fallibility. The concept of equality, respect, and understanding between people is undermined when men and women act in ways that are contrary to Stoic ideals. Instead, Stoicism encourages treating women as equals and valuing their unique perspectives and abilities. A key component of Stoicism is humility, which is accepting of one's shortcomings and tendency toward wrong. Stoic concepts cause intellectual people to see the illusion of superiority as the result of conceit, ignorance, and a lack of self-awareness. They realize that every person, regardless of gender, has intrinsic worth and dignity that calls for respect and consideration. Thinking one is better than women creates unequal power dynamics and harmful gender stereotypes. It undermines women's autonomy, agency, and self-esteem by communicating a sense of privilege and entitlement. Sensible men who value justice and equality reject these notions, understanding the importance of treating women equally and free from stereotypes of their superiority or inferiority. Moreover, Stoicism promotes appreciating and respecting the unique qualities of individuals, viewpoints of view, and contributions. Women provide distinct perspectives, skills, and life experiences to a variety of fields, enhancing social cohesion and providing creativity and innovation. Intellectually gifted but Stoic guys acknowledge and honor the achievements made by women, recognizing the intrinsic value of diverse perspectives and experiences, and treating women equally calls for men who value communication and cooperation based on mutual respect, empathy, and understanding. Pay special attention to women's perspectives. Make an effort to comprehend their experiences and value the contributions that women make to discussions and decision-making processes. Men create an environment that is inclusive and egalitarian, enabling women to develop and fully contribute their skills. Stoicism offers crucial guidance for intellectual men to interact with women in a cautious and fair manner by rejecting notions of superiority and assuming a humble position. Encourage sincere regard, comprehension, and admiration for the perspectives and achievements of women. This fosters an environment of equality, respect, and cooperation, where everyone is valued and given the opportunity to realize their full potential. Quantity 10. Undervaluing the intelligence of women. In the framework of Stoicism, competent men should never undervalue the intelligence or abilities of women. This view is congruent with the philosophy's central claims of recognizing the inherent reason and wisdom in all people regardless of gender. Stoicism encourages perceiving each personal development. Astute men recognize that taking accountability for their deeds is essential to mend damaged relationships and foster personal development. Men who are prepared to own up to their mistakes and make positive changes in their lives can improve their relationships and personal integrity. Furthermore, Stoicism counsels people to focus on what they can control and let go of what is outside of their control. While it is difficult to change the past, people can accept responsibility for their actions in the present and work toward improving the future. For example, intelligent men who adhere to Stoic ideals understand that in order to mend and reconcile relationships, they must apologize and take responsibility for their acts. Intelligent men can learn a lot from Stoicism about how to handle apology and take responsibility in relationships with women. By being honest, responsible, and open to learning, men can strengthen their bonds with women, develop mutual respect and understanding, and cultivate personal integrity. These qualities improve relationships between individuals and promote an environment of accountability, compassion, and openness. Smart men can gain a great deal from incorporating Stoic concepts into their interactions with women. Men who are respectful, empathetic, truthful, and modest. In order to build more fulfilling and mutually understanding relationships, let's work to model these qualities in our daily lives. By doing so, we may foster harmonious relationships and contribute to the development of a society that is more compassionate and equitable.